Hello and welcome everyone to Bio Online class. Today in this video we will discuss about blood vessels from the chapter Life Process, class 10 CBSE. So please do subscribe this channel as well as press the bell icon to get the regular video updates on this. So let's get started. So firstly we will discuss about blood vessels. What are blood vessels? These are a tube-like structures which contains blood in it, and they transport the blood from one area to another area. It's a simple layman definition of blood vessels. As you can see in the diagram, I have shown that there are two major blood vessels. One is red and one is bluish. These are quite thick. So the quite thick blood vessels are what? The red one is artery and the blue one is vein. Means the red one is carrying oxygenated blood and the blue one is carrying deoxygenated blood. In between you can see that there is a mesh like structure. These arteries, when they enter the cellular compartment or tissue area, they divide themselves into a very fine like structures, and when artery divides itself in a fine like structures, they are called as capillaries. And with this capillary like structure, the transport of the exchange of materials from the blood to the tissues and cells takes place. And when the exchange is being done, these capillary reunite and they form vein, and this vein now carrying a deoxygenated blood once again goes into the heart for the heart to make that blood travel through the lung, and that blood will get purified and it will again run into the body. So this is the overall mechanism of the blood vessels. So I will now explain it one by one. So blood vessels are three different types: arteries, veins and capillaries. There are the three different types of the blood vessels present in the body: arteries, veins and capillaries. So what are arteries? Arteries are such kind of vessels that carry blood from the heart. Means it carry oxygenated blood to the various organs of the body. Arteries are the such kind of vessels which are very thick in structure. They are thick because when it carries blood from the heart, means that blood is containing high pressure, because heart has pumped it, and due to the force of pumping, the pressure is greater in that blood. So that blood will exert more pressure on the walls of the vessels. So in order to carry that blood, vessels should be thick. Therefore arteries are thick in compared to the veins, because veins do not carry pressurized blood. Next is the vein. So what is the function of vein? It's opposite of the artery, as artery carries the blood from heart and it distributes the blood throughout the body. But vein is what? Vein collects the blood from the different body organs, different cells, and after collecting those blood, it brings back that blood to the heart. This is the difference. So another major difference, I am once again repeating, that with this two sentences we can find out that arteries are carrying oxygenated, whereas veins are carrying deoxygenated blood. Now it's now time for the capillaries. When an artery reaches an organ or tissue, that artery then divides, as shown in the figure. That artery then divides into a much finer vessels, a much smaller vessels like capillaries, and after being divided into the finer like structure, they come in contact with the tissues, and when this fine structure comes in contact with the tissue, they exchange their material. Means tissue exchange their waste product to the capillaries, and capillaries exchange what the important items they are having for that tissue, means oxygen and various other nutrients. They deliver that to the tissue, and tissue delivers the waste product to the capillaries. So now that capillary is full of waste and carbon dioxide, then these capillaries further unite to form vein, and therefore vein is called that it contains deoxygenated blood, and that further goes to the heart. That is what I have written over here. You can read it out. I have already explained to you. I have enlarged this diagram. You can see that the one is coming from the heart. It finally becomes an artery. Then artery divides into the capillaries. Here the exchange of material takes place. Finally, when waste is taken up, it is reunited to form vein, and from that it goes to the heart. Next, we will talk about various blood components. What does blood actually contains? We will talk about this. So with this diagram, you can easily find out that in a blood, what is the volume ratio of different constituents. 55% is of plasma in the blood, 1% is of platelets as well as WBCs, means white blood cells, and 44% is of red blood cells. 44% RBC होते हैं, 1% WBC and platelets, and 55% is plasma. This is the overall composition of blood in percentage form. So we have to read about all these, means we have to read about plasma, we have to read about RBCs, we have to read about platelets, white blood cells. So in this we will first read about plasma. So plasma is what? Plasma is a you can say the major liquid part of the blood, which is 55% of the total blood volume. And of what it is composed of? It is composed of 90% of water. Salts are present in it, lipids and hormones are also present, and a special protein called albumin is present in this plasma along with the immunoglobulins. Immunoglobulins are what? They are the antibodies which prevent our body from various diseases. Clotting factors and fibrinogen, these things are present in plasma, and with all these things it makes 55% of the total blood volume. Once again I am going to tell you that plasma is what? It's a liquid part of the blood which is having 90% water, salt, lipids, hormones, albumins, immunoglobulins, clotting factors and fibrinogen. Now I am going to explain that whatever the contents it is having, what are their role, what are their specific role. So firstly I will talk about albumin. The albumin is contained in the plasma, and what is the major function of albumin in plasma is, I am talking about what is the major function of albumin in plasma. Okay, so albumin prevents the blood from losing too much water. Means what? Look, blood has to travel from the wider part to the narrow part of the body. Okay, so in order to travel it through the narrow part, its constituency should be like this, that it can travel through the narrow path. If it is too thick, then it cannot travel through the narrow path. It should be in the diluted form, so that it can travel through the narrow path. So in order to maintain that ratio, that how much it should be diluted to travel all through this narrow path, albumin takes the control. It prevents the loss of water from the blood, so that the consistency of the blood should be maintained. Along with this, albumin also transports various blood components and nutrients. This is the function of the albumin in the plasma. Now I will talk about immunoglobulins. As I have already told that immunoglobulins are antibodies that fight for our body against the various pathogens or the disease causing germs that enter our body. The another agent means WBC is also helpful in fighting up with the diseases, but along with that immunoglobulins are also play the role to fight against our germs and other pathogens. So albumin, what does it does make the consistency of the blood, it prevents the loss of water, as well as it transports the various components and nutrients of the blood. Immunoglobulins are antibodies that prevent our body from various diseases, and there are clotting factors and fibrinogen also present. These clotting factors in combination with platelets, means these clotting factors along with the platelets, they do what? They control the bleeding. Wherever we have got a cut or any kind of bleeding we are having, these clotting factors along with the platelets prevent the loss of blood by making a clot over there and prevent the loss of the blood. So this was all about plasma. Next we are going to study about RBC, means the red blood cells. So RBC, another name of RBC is the erythrocytes. The technical name of the RBC is erythrocytes. So as you can see in the diagram, the RBCs are biconcave disc-like structure. They are biconcave disc-like structure, and I have given a fact that if a person drops a needle size drop of blood, then in that drop of blood around 5 million RBCs are present. Around 5 million RBCs will be present in that pinhead drop size of blood. Now, as I have told that these red blood cells are biconcave disc-like structure and they do not have nucleus. And how they become red? They become red from an iron containing protein called hemoglobin. When hemoglobin combines with these erythrocytes, then it gets its red color. So the presence of red cells in percentage in all over the blood is what? 37 to 43% in women and 43 to 49% in men. They are present of the blood. This is the amount of RBCs. 37 to 43% is present in women and 43 to 49% is present in men. And what the main function of this RBCs is? They carry oxygen throughout the body by adhering oxygen molecules to their surface. These RBCs transport that oxygen throughout the body, and with this RBCs every cell is able to get the oxygen. Therefore we say that in a common way that blood transport oxygen throughout the body. Actually in that blood RBCs are transporting the oxygen throughout the body. So there are the two main topics in this RBC. The first one is that they are called, their another name is erythrocyte, as well as they get their red color by what? By a protein called hemoglobin. They get their red color. And thirdly is what? They are able to transport oxygen throughout the body, by which means by combining or by adhering the oxygen molecules to their surface, and then they travel through the blood to all the tissues and cells of the body and give the oxygen to the cells and tissues. So this was all about this video. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, then please share and subscribe the channel. Next we will talk about another component of the blood, that is the WBCs and platelets. Till then, read it. Thank you.